I'm back again at Dynamic Boxing Club in Westland, Michigan. I'm sitting here with Cory, the bad guy Mulhern, and one of his coaches here, Anthony Mendez, just talking about his last few fights. So, Cory, how's it been since the last fight, March 9th? Had a big crowd out there. How'd that feel?
It felt good. It felt very good to be in there and hear the noise of the crowd. I said it definitely amped me up.
Yeah. Now, since we last had you on the show, this is your second fight. 3 straight knockout wins to start your career. That's gotta feel pretty good. How do you feel about the quality of opponents and where you're moving up?
Like every fighter, I said you're not gonna get the best in the beginning, but I said we're definitely moving forward. Better opponents in the near future, and I said continue going on our way.
All right. Now, Anthony, you've been with Cory for a long time, known him, since he was fighting in the amateur days. How do you feel about the start of his pro career?
So far, as planned, hopefully a few more before the end of the year, realistically, and then about this time in a year, hopefully start stepping it up, you know what I mean? But so far, going as planned, yeah.
Now, Cory, this is your first fight, your first professional fight in front of the hometown, and your celebration says it all, the way you're jumping around, you're pretty excited. How do you feel about being able to fight in front of your friends and family for once?
It felt very good. The noise, I was almost took back from the noise. I didn't expect to be that many people there. I know I had about 100 people, but it sounded about 1,000 when it was in there.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your opponent. You kind of took care of him pretty easily, the one at Motor City, and then again when you fought in Nebraska, you fought a guy that had some MMA fights, but got him out of there pretty quickly too. Do you expect every fight to go like that, or do you know that you're going to be pressured a little more as you step up?
I can't. We're gunning for the knockout, but I can't say it's always going to happen. I'm gonna have to fight. So I said, I just go in there and do my very best. And like I said, go in there, throw punches, and hopefully it go away.
Yeah. So, moving on to what's coming up next, Anthony. After seeing, the first few fights, like you said, go exactly as planned. Are you guys looking to step up? Is there anybody in particular you guys are looking at?
Yeah.
Like that?
No one individual, right? There's no one. No one particular, but just. Like you said, step up. Hopefully someone ranked a little bit higher than us, and so we can climb. But we'll take, how it goes. It's about timing and other things that need to line up behind the scenes. So hopefully something like that, or somebody at least with a 500 record or close to,
Yeah. Just for everyone that might not know, that's kind of how beginning of a career starts, right? You fight guys that you might be a little bit better at. You're trying to get used to fighting without headgear. All those other factors play in. How do you feel like your transition from amateur to pro has been? Do you feel like you're ready for a step up?
Yes. It's definitely like I'm getting better. Like I said, my movement in the ring, to me, it's just I'm getting more used to it in the pro style things. And it's definitely, like I said, so hopefully, we can step it up in the next fight or so. Keep going up until I can't no more.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple of guys on that card that were from Michigan that fought around the same weight as you. I'm not going to mention any names, but are those some guys that you're looking forward to in the future?
Sure. Like I said, hopefully we can make big fights in Michigan. And like I said, if they want to make the fight happen, we can make the fight happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it don't sound like it. It sounds like someone want a year off.
Yeah.
Not gonna say no names.
Right. Now, how do you feel about that? I know there's always been kind of, some boxers just don't like to fight guys from the same city, the same state. Does that have any effect on who you want to fight next, or?
I'll say I'm one of them. I don't believe in Michigan fighters should be fighting Michigan fighters. If it doesn't unless it makes money, because it doesn't do much for your career. It's pushing it like I said, fighting a Michigan guy, your fight's only really going to be big in Michigan. So you really want to take names outside of the state and build your name. Because I say you want to get your name in places they ain't heard it yet.
Right. So do you like the traveling aspect of it? Do you like going to different states and fighting?
Yeah, I do. It's fun. Like I said, places I hadn't been, And I said, it's just different things. I said, I like fighting in hostile environments.
Right.
I liked fighting at home, but I said it doesn't give me no problem fighting somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
Anthony, how do you feel about that? You know, you're a local boxing trainer here. You know, obviously, you know a lot of the guys from the amateurs, and they all, you know, there's every year, you know, a handful of them all turn pro at the same time, and then they end up fighting each other, like, you know, a year or two down the road. How do you feel about that?
About doing it in the future in the pros, or like
how do you feel about Detroit versus Detroit, or even Michigan versus Michigan?
It's case by case, but majority, we can sum it up. Majority of the time, I agree with Cory, but still case by case, and especially if you're like in the greener stages of your career, I guess it makes more sense then. Nobody's really like, but for the most part, like stepping up, I don't really agree with it either. I mean, it makes sense for the promoter, ticket sales on both sides. But you're only going as far as, you know, Metro Detroit. So if you really want to expand your name and stuff like that, like Cory said, I agree with him on that.
You know, it's gotta make sense for everybody, right? Especially if you're gonna be fighting guys that you know that you came to the amateurs with. Like, it's either gotta be a career move or a financial move. Right? Like, you guys are prize fighters at the end of the day, so you guys gotta make money.
Good point.
Now, Anthony, gonna switch gears to you a little bit because, you know, we're getting really close to Golden Gloves. I know you're heavily involved with Dynamics Amateur Program. How are we looking for Golden Gloves?
Looking good so far. We got like one more hard week of training camp, and then it's basically a cruise week before the week of the fights, the first weekend. So we'll have a handful of good guys. Majority of them new guys, novice guys, but you know, we got Jalen Howard too, one of our open heavyweights that, you know, we expect to go to nationals and hopefully make a run. So it's hopefully a good year.
How many years have you been coaching with Dynamic and specifically coaching the Golden Gloves team?
Started coaching. So I got my book in 16. So say about 8 years now I've been officially coaching.
Would you say, like, you know, this time of the year you're usually like locked in the groove, like, you know that, you know, Golden Gloves is coming up, we gotta get ready for training camp? And
the last 8 years, so February, March, April, it's always the same thing, you know, it's like camp mode and basically,
Now, Cory, does this bring you back to like your amateur days this time of year, you know, remember training for the Golden Gloves and stuff like that?
Yeah, it definitely do. That's why I said I think I go a little harder on the kids this time of the year. As I said, I mean, a lot of them, like you said, there's a lot of new guys that like they haven't experienced yet, and I try to push them. I mean, they might think I'm an asshole the way I do it, but I try to get them ready because I said it is, like I said, even for a novice guy, it's a prestigious tournament for them to fight in, and like I said, it'll be a memory they'll hold on for a lifetime.
Yeah. Now this year's the 90th year of the Detroit Golden Gloves.
Wow.
You know, it's got to be, you know, me personally, the Golden Gloves meant a lot to me when I was fighting, so I know it's got to mean a lot to you guys.
Yeah.
What does that mean
does.
to be a part of the 90th anniversary of the Detroit Golden Gloves? Like, Anthony, for
that's
you,
crazy. Yeah, the fact that the history goes back that far is crazy. That your small piece is of something that big, but that's sweet. That's crazy that it's like that. And then we got nationals here in Detroit too, which is sweet.
In May too, so it's a big year for Detroit in boxing. You know, all the former, you know, world champions, national champions that fought in those Golden Gloves in those rings. You know, it's long history here in Detroit.
It goes back to Joe Louis and Tommy Hearns and all that.
Yeah, all the way back to them. Yeah, so you know, just being involved with those names, you know, I'm sure we'll see. You know, since it's such a big celebration this year, I'm sure we'll see a lot of the, you know, the old timers there and a lot of the old fighters there.
I'd expect so.
So moving on from that, you know, Cory, do you have anything in the future planned, like for your fights, or are you just kind of training right now, waiting for that call?
Pretty much just training, waiting on a call. Hopefully I'll hear something in the next few days or weeks. Like I said, mainly right now I'm trying to get off the probation because it's still fuck you, bitch. Other than that, but you know, waiting on a phone call or a camp that wants some sparring. I said, it's just taking it easy, like just trying to go and trying to keep pushing my career forward.
Now, would you agree in the beginning of your career, you know, even if you have some time in between fights, you know, you still need to be in the gym. You still need to be ready for that call because it can come at any time, right? Do you feel like you're ready? Like, if you got a call tomorrow, would you be ready for a fight?
Most definitely, Ed. I'm still in pretty good shape. I'm right now, I never really fall out of shape. I run even when I ain't training, like for a fight. So I'll be ready tonight.
Right. Now, Anthony, like from your perspective, you know, when you got a young fighter who's obviously, having a budding career, 3 knockouts in a row, you want to give him some work. Like how hard is it for you in these lull between fights to kind of keep him busy and keep his mentality out in the right spot?
Not Cory, him not hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's pretty much stays in the gym the last like year and a half, so it's pretty easy for Cory to not have to turn off and on that switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you said, he's just been maintaining since his last fight, because you never know what. You know what I mean? Like you said, we could be somewhere next week or a week or two, and we got to be within range of weight, and then also be in shape for 4 or 6 rounds. Cory is, yeah.
So this last fight, you weighed in, correct me if I'm wrong, around 170, 172, is that right?
72 for the Nebraska fight and 75
For the
my
Detroit fight. Now, do you feel comfortable at that light heavyweight weight, or do you plan on moving up, down, or how do you feel about your weight?
I ultimately plan on moving down to 68, but right now 75 is a comfortable weight class for me.
Mm-hmm. Is it something like you feel comfortable just walking around that weight, and you can cut to it whenever you need to?
Yeah, it's about that. It's an easy cut so far. Like I said, yeah, I walk around 185 typically, and it's an easy cut down to 75.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you would take a fight at 68.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's hard to like juggle, between 2 weight classes. How do you like if you're training for a fight where you gotta be 175, and then you might get a call that, hey, you gotta be 168. Like how do you feel about that? Like if you had to cut that much weight.
We just gonna have to do it.
Right.
At this point.
If the money's right, right?
Yeah.
If the PO lets you go, you gotta make the weight.
My PO.
I mean, you probably need more time.
Right. Yeah. You gotta get permission from everybody.
Yeah,
Anthony, obviously we've had Cory on the show a couple of times now. This is your second time on the show, but he's got a he's goofy. He's got a goofy personality. How is that to deal with in the gym and like during fights? Like, is he locked in when it's fight time?
Yeah, we both bust each other balls and like other kids, and like I think that comes probably from Paul, right?
Yeah.
His energy. But then we can hit the switch. We know when to turn it off. We've been doing it so long, and he's been fighting so long. So it's like all of our guys, we might play around, but we know when to turn it on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're just doing that to keep the energy high, keep the make it fun.
Yeah.
And then we know when to turn it on. Yeah.
That's as it goes back to, like I said, I remember going on a trip and hearing Rico Quinn saying something. We were on a trip. And like I said, he made the most sense about this. He's like, we were sitting back and we were watching fighters at a turn. It was like I think it was at the Arnold tournament, 2000 whatever, 12, 13 ish. We were sitting back and he's like, and we were watching these coaches. They're making the fighters eat like peanut butter jelly sandwiches and being strict, and you can't do this and that. And like we were talking about our coach Paul Soucy, like fucking. I couldn't be that serious before a fight.
Right.
Like I said, I mean, serious is in the ring. Man, I'm just here to have fun. Like I said, if I'm not fucking fighting right now, why am I that dead serious?
Right.
Like I said, so I have fun. Like that's how you're gonna burn your nerves out. You're just gonna be like just all stressed out before your fight for no reason. Oh. And like I said, to me, that's why I said I let her like. I make jokes like going to the strip club.
Right.
Get my dick sucked before a fight. So I'm like, I don't.
I always found that interesting. Every fighter's got their own like little, way they deal with the fight day and the fight night and everything. Take me through like a typical day of a fight for you.
I wake up. Just wake up, go out. I mean, if we're out of town, we go to like an IHOP or Coney Island or whatever. I'll get like chicken tenders or the dino chicken. I'll get like little dinosaurs, little motherfuckers. And some fries. Like I said, if we're out of state, we'll probably go, like I said, and like just give it a little, like when we were in Little Rock, the day of the fight, we went out, ate, we went to the hot springs, sat and relaxed.
Yeah.
Seemed like we were looking at the bitches in the hot springs and shit,
right.
like just doing normal motherfucking shit, and then we like joke and have fun, like just drive. We went to the mall, just like not thinking
just
about
chilling.
Just chilling.
Yeah, not even thinking about the fight almost.
Yeah, so until we get there, like I said, there's nothing we can do about the fight until, like I said, the fight happens.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
said,
gonna
at this
happen,
point,
right?
you can't learn. It's like the training's done. Like you said, you're not gonna learn nothing. You're not gonna like all of a sudden become a way better fighter on the day of the fight. If you weren't there yet, then you weren't gonna be there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old saying, but you know it's always been said. Well, the hard part's done.
Yeah.
Now it's
Right.
the fun part, the fight, right?
Exactly.
You know, I always like when I personally like when I was fighting, I always like I never like if someone was like tensed up or like I'm like just get them away from me. You know what I mean? I just want, like you said,
Right.
loose and just chilling, listen to my music. You know what I mean? Is there like it always turned on for me after my hands got wrapped. Now I'm like, oh, I'm definitely fighting like soon. You know,
Yep.
your body kind of gets.
That's
you know,
usually when it turns on, right?
Right.
I always
Yeah.
said it was the national anthem.
Okay, yeah. I
They
can
used
see
to
that.
make, like I said, just every time it made it feel real. Like because the show's starting now. Now it's locked in, and then once the national anthem hit.
It's a good time.
What's your mindset, Anthony? Like before a fight, wrapping the gloves or warming them up. Like what do you like? How do you like the locker room to feel? What's the vibe in the locker room like?
Just like Cory said, you know what I mean? You got to keep you don't want to bring the guys down, especially, it's case by case. Sometimes you're dealing with kids in their first fight.
Yeah.
Then you're dealing with someone like him with a lot of experience and comfortable with it. So, but, just try to have the guys pick up on our energy, that to not be so tense and nervous and stress in the fight mentally before. Because like you said, that could zap you, just an adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
Just off of that. So just stall the time. That's the hardest part. Sometimes is that waiting, the day of the fight or the week of the fight. So just like finding a way to stall the time, to occupy that time, your brain, keep your mind off the fight kind of. And then, because like you said, there's no reason to stress it until you need to. You know what I mean? So yeah, just stalling, whistling dicks, just filling in the time. You know what I mean? And then, when to pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah, just making sure they're keeping their head right,
Right.
What a lot of people miss is there like you guys aren't only like fighters and trainers, like you guys got real life stuff going on.
Right.
So how hard is it like when you're in fight mode and you got like maybe you got a bunch of bullshit going on outside? How hard is it for you to lock in and turn that off, or you've been doing it long enough to where it's just comes natural?
All the bullshit's you leave it at the door.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, just like that's just all I'm saying. Like everybody's got their own shit at the end of the day. As I said, you can't really carry it in the gym. Like I said, either because when you show up to the gym, it's work time. I said, fucking.
Yeah.
You can't. Like I said, if you got a problem, if it was a serious enough problem, I don't know why you show up to the gym today. If they was really bothering you, just go fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, gym is for the gym.
Now, Anthony, as a trainer, like if you get a guy, not Cory specifically, like you said, Cory's been doing it long enough to where he's got his own regimen, he knows what to do. But maybe like a newer fighter, maybe a newer amateur, the first couple fights, like can you tell if their head's not like where it needs to be? And if you do, how do you kind of mold them to, get into fight mode?
Yeah, it's usually very obvious, but it's case by case. Like some kids, you know what I mean. You just gotta deal with them. And I had a lot of brothers and friends coming up, so different personalities. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
are really like shut off with it. Some, might have nervous energy. So you just gotta find a way to try to occupy them or force them to like sit down, and because sometimes they're walking around on their feet a lot, nervous. So there's a handful of different ways. I can't think now the cases that happen over the years, obviously with nervous kids, but yeah, that's usually, that's part of coaching that you don't realize until you're coaching. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, back to the fight on March 9th, like you said, you had a big turnout. How, like, any of your boys come up to you like, man, I didn't know you could fight like that. Anything, like, sometimes with local shows, guys haven't seen you fought in a while. Anyone come up to you say anything like that?
Yeah.
A little bit, I mean, everybody knew me in the hood though for the most part, and like they had seen me really, because I took the time off from boxing, but I really didn't stop fighting.
Right.
So they knew who I was. Like I said, they just happy to see it in a different outlook.
Right. More positive outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely better to fight in a ring for some money than on the streets for nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless we run in their pockets and it's money both ways.
Then it's money, yeah, I guess.
There's always circumstances like that. We've all been there. So, after the fight, there's a lot of social media attention on you. You got a lot of people behind you. Is there anyone that you want to like shout out to and just let people know who backs you up?
A shout out to Match Realty. They hooked me up with, like I said, ring walkout gear.
Now, Anthony, it's my understanding you know someone from Match Realty, right? You're kind of boys with them. That's how they kind of hooked up with Cory.
Yeah, it's a local realty company that's like up and coming. I grew up with like a lot of the key members of that company, so it just tied in. You know what I mean? We started off with Rico and then segued into Cory. Yep.
Now, these sponsors, especially at the local level, they really do help out the fighter.
Yeah.
And kind of explain how that even that little extra maybe social media attention or everything kind of helps out with you guys.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know. I mean, because it costs money sometimes, like your diet, your exercise, or sacrificing time for the gym. You know what I mean? Having to train around it. So it definitely helps, like, when you're not making much to, if you can almost make double your pay through sponsorship, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah,
it definitely helps.
For what I hear from Cory and Chad, they've been extra generous, and they've been very, very helpful in your pro career. So that's always good. Yeah. You feel like it's a good relationship you have with them, Cory?
I do. Like I said, they give me money, clothes, and hoes.
Yeah. Very generous people.
Good people. Yes.
So I guess to kind of move away from that fight, you're still training, you're still getting ready for the next fight. What's your focus on in training camp at this point?
Right now, like I said, it's just the same thing. Come to the gym, work hard, wait for that phone call. Like I said, we're looking for a fight right now, and like I said, it could be, like I said, hopefully by May, June, I'm back in the ring.
Yeah,
that's what I'm aiming for right now.
Yeah.
And do you think that's a good goal? Do you think that's something that we can get a fight in pretty soon, next few months?
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, we'd like to do one in April, but being realistic, maybe May, June. I mean, the latest, but definitely have something soon. You know what I mean? Now that things opened up for us. You know what I mean?
Now, before we wrap it up, there was an interesting thing that happened on a UFC card not that long ago. I kind of wanted to get you guys' reaction from it. So, if you guys didn't see, someone had gotten bit. One of the fighters had gotten bit, and it was a big ordeal. And he showed his bicep where he got bit, and there's huge teeth marks. Cory, if you were in a fight and someone bit you, how do you think you'd react?
We fighting in a whole different way. Now, dog, I'm kicking. Fucking, I'm hoping my people in the crowd, they might start shooting.
Yeah, I seen that.
As a coach, what would your head go if one of your fighters said, I got bit, I just got bit?
Because you think of every scenario in fighting, right? That's not one of them you ever thought of. So I don't know. I have no idea. But I was watching that live. That was fucking nuts. Yeah. I don't know. I've never seen that. And what's crazy is the guy that bit him, I actually thought he had the momentum in that round and was doing really good. Yeah. It made no sense. It wasn't like he was frustrated or wanted it out. I have no idea. But he bit the shit out of him, though. Yeah, he did.
He got him
through the
good.
Mouth guard. He had both. Yeah, it was bad.
He got him real good. Cory, has anything like that happened to you fight? I mean, dirty things happen from time to time, but nothing like that's pretty.
No, I mean, I'm sorry, they throw hit after the bell, and little like grabbing the back of the head is probably the worst so far. Like the little like grab and pull on the back of the head to pull you down so far. Like little tricks like that's been the worst that I've seen. Like, but yeah, no, I haven't seen nothing like that yet. Nobody's fucking or a low blow. But yeah, no, nothing like biting or doing some stupid shit like that. That'd make me take the gloves off.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking, man. It's like we're not fighting sanction rules anymore.
Yeah,
this is different.
That makes no sense.
Anthony, you ever seen anything like that before?
No.
Like in person in a fight?
No, not in a sanction like a real fight. No, like not at all. Yeah, and then the guy acted like he had no idea what happened.
Right.
That's what was hilarious to me. It's like, bit the shit out of him, and then there's proof, and then you're like, I don't know what happened. But yeah, I mean, guy got caught.
I see he got tatted.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, he tattooed the outline of the team.
Yeah, and the guy got cut.
Well, he
that bit
made
him,
a bag off of it, so because I think
50
Dana doubled his purse or something like that.
They gave him a $50K bite of the night.
Yeah.
Bite of the night bonus. Plus, he probably got the win bonus, so he got double his purse. The
Right.
other guy got cut, so that sucks for him. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming today. Cory, we'll look forward to your next fight. We'll definitely announce that on our socials. But appreciate it, Anthony.
Of course.
Always a
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you,
man.
Dan.
That does it for this episode of Jab Journals, everybody.